Who are you implying? Jeon-yeon was immediately displeased and stood up to refute. Lee Bing-yeon ignored Jeon-yeon, took out the card from her pocket, and handed it to me, saying again, "This is a temporary ID card prepared for you. I'll arrange for your official ID card to be made and deliver it to you in a few days. If there's nothing else, I'll take my leave first. The Ghost Control Society has a lot of tasks waiting for me." Meanwhile, Jeon-yeon sat upright beside me, her legs together, revealing black stockings, her eyes fixed on me until I finished eating. Only then did she speak. "Brother Mo, can you help me catch a ghost? I once told my childhood sweetheart, Gu Chen, I'll only wait for you until I'm 30. If you still don't marry me by then, I'll give up on you." Fortunately, 7 days before my 30th birthday, Gu Chen publicly announced the happy news that he would hold our wedding on my birthday. Overjoyed, I began preparing my wedding dress, but by chance, I overheard a conversation between him and his friend just now. I went home and saw Lin-ji already picking out a wedding dress. Did she see the live interview and think I'd marry her when she turns 30? Those were just words to placate the reporters, but the truth is, I promised Yao Yao I'd marry her in 7 days. The person on the other end of the call seemed to ask why he hadn't told me the truth. Gu Chen sneered. "A free nanny I've used for over a decade, would you just throw her away? If I'm going to dump her, I'll wait until after I marry Yao Yao in 7 days. I didn't want to hear any more. Silently, I returned to my room, feeling as if my heart had been plunged into an icy abyss. I blamed myself for not seeing the truth sooner. I knew he wouldn't marry me, yet I chased after him for 12 years. But thankfully, I'd already woken up. 7 days later, the person I'd marry would be someone else. The next day, I planned to submit my resignation at the company. Back when Gu Chen graduated and said he wanted to start a business, no one believed in him, so he dragged me along to help. He promised me that once he achieved success, he'd make it up to me. At the time, swayed by his earnest promises, I gave up a high-paying job with an annual salary of 300,000 to support him from scratch until he became worth hundreds of millions. Yet, even now, I remained his assistant with a monthly salary of just 8,000. Entering the CEO's office, I printed my resignation letter and went to Gu Chen for his signature. Before signing, perhaps feeling guilty for his harsh attitude the day before, Gu Chen suddenly tossed me a small gift box. "Here, your birthday is in a few days. Consider this an early gift." I opened the box to find a gold necklace inside. In the past, I would have been overjoyed, but now, my heart was utterly calm because I knew this necklace was just a freebie that came with the 50 million yuan blue diamond Gu Chen had bought at auction. Gu Chen watched me, expecting me to be speechless with happiness. Instead, my expression remained blank. My strange behavior these past 2 days made him frown. Just as he was about to speak, I handed him the resignation letter. "There's a document I need you to sign." Perhaps because he trusted me too much. Assuming it was some important contract, Gu Chen signed without even looking. But as I took the letter and prepared to leave, he suddenly felt something was off. "What exactly did you just have me sign?" he asked, not wanting to explain. I waved dismissively. "Nothing important, just some routine paperwork." "Oh, and I'm taking a vacation for the next couple of days. I won't be coming to the office. Even if I resign, I wouldn't be returning." "All right." Gu Chen agreed without hesitation. He didn't want me around often either, lest I cause trouble for his official fiance at the company. Then, as if remembering something, he added, "Come back as soon as your vacation's over. There are a lot of big projects waiting for you to negotiate." I hummed in acknowledgement. What Gu Chen didn't know was that this resignation meant I'd never return to the company. After years as his assistant, I was exhausted. As I turned to leave, I ran into Zhang Yao, Gu Chen's future wife, and the company's receptionist. At the front desk, surrounded by colleagues, Zhang Yao proudly raised her right hand, showing off. "This is the ring my fiance bought me at auction worth 50 million. Isn't it beautiful? You've probably never seen such expensive jewelry before. Now's the chance to feast your eyes." The diamond ring was indeed dazzling, but Zhang Yao was just a decorative receptionist with an ordinary background. Where would she get the chance to meet a wealthy man, let alone own such an expensive ring? The crowd expressed skepticism. "Isn't this fake? 50 million. Don't lie to us. Double quotes. Zhang Yao's face flushed red. "It's not fake. Stop talking nonsense." Stung by their doubts, she seemed to remember something and pulled out a property deed from her bag, slapping it on the table. "Besides this 50 million yuan ring, my fiance also bought me a house in Jiangnan Shuyuan. If you don't believe me, look for yourselves." The colleagues crowded around, clicking through the deed. When they confirmed it was indeed a property in Jiangnan Shuyuan, their expressions turned envious. "Wow, Zhang Yao, you're really marrying into wealth. Which rich family are you marrying into? Someone as rich as President Gu, who can afford such an expensive house in Jiangnan Shuyuan?" Zhang Yao smiled mysteriously. "You'll all find out soon enough. Others might not know, but I did." Zhang Yao was marrying Gu Chen. If I remember correctly, Zhang Yao was Gu Chen's junior from college. In the first year of Gu Corporation's founding, Gu Chen had specially recruited her into the company. At the time, Gu Chen had intended to train Zhang Yao as his new assistant, but no matter how hard I tried to teach her, she couldn't even handle simple tasks like stamping documents. So before long, Gu Chen gave up on the idea of Zhang Yao being his assistant and transferred her to the front desk as eye candy. The irony was that this eye candy had defeated me and won Gu Chen's heart. For 12 years, I had fought battles for him, while Zhang Yao didn't have to lift a finger just to earn her, and she'd receive everything I'd worked so hard for. My heart turned cold. My dedication to the company, my meticulous care for Gu Chen in the end, it had all become a joke, a farce where I paved the way for someone else. As the crowd pressed Zhang Yao for answers, Gu Chen suddenly appeared. "What are you all gathered here for? Don't you have work to do?" At the sound of his voice, everyone scattered back to their posts. Gu Chen turned to me. "Weren't you taking a vacation? Why are you still here?" "Oh, I just heard the receptionist say she's getting married soon. I wanted to congratulate her." Gu Chen frowned. "She didn't say who she's marrying, did she?" "No. Why? Nothing. Just asking." When I said no, Gu Chen visibly relaxed. "Don't make dinner tonight. I'm meeting friends for drinks and won't be back until late. Since you're free, go home and finish the bidding documents for the new project. I didn't trust anyone else to do it, even though I was on vacation. He still ordered me around. His act was flawless even while hiding his impending marriage to someone else. He had to squeeze every last drop of value out of me, but I wouldn't let him have his way anymore. Without responding, I turned and left under his gaze. Chen stared at my retreating figure, frowning. Was it his imagination, or was I acting stranger by the day? Back at the apartment, I looked around what I'd long considered a second home. After some thought, I packed all my belongings. Since I decided to leave, I should clear out the space that didn't belong to me for its future mistress. From noon until late at night, I filled several suitcases with my things. Hungry, I got up to grab a bite, but my phone buzzed insistently. When I answered, Chen's friend's voice came through, demanding, Linji, Chen's drunk. Bring some hangover medicine to Nightfall Bar, room 5. Before I could react, the call ended, as if certain I'd obey. I hadn't planned to go, but then I remembered some of my things were still in the apartment storage room and the key was with Chen. If I wanted to clear everything out, I needed that key. After a moment's hesitation, I dragged my exhausted body out the door. The moment I pushed open the private room door, Chen's friends burst into mocking laughter. She actually came. See, I told you she would. As long as Brother Chen's here, she'd never stay away. Chen, lounging in the seat of honor, took a lazy sip of alcohol and pointed at the people on the sofa, grinning. I'm in this round. Pay up cover tonight's drinks. Hearing this, I understood Chen wasn't drunk. The only reason they called me was to use me as a betting chip to see if I'd show up. The group laughed uproariously. Their eyes followed disdain as they looked at me. Chen watched the scene unfold without stopping. He'd already prepared comforting words for me, as usual, trembled with anger. But instead, I just took a deep breath and looked at Chen, who sat calmly. I can't find the storage room key. If you have it, please give it to me. Chen frowned. Instead of taking it, he deflected. You're angry. Why so cold? Pause. And I assumed that anyone else would just take it to heart. But my expression remained really close and second, as if I were kind of the person. Finally, I felt the pain was pocket and I took it and left without knowing it. By the time I got home, it was 2 a.m. pulsing and turning. I couldn't sleep. Chen didn't return until the next morning. The apartment felt empty. Many of my belongings had vanished. Where's your stuff? He asked. I made up an excuse. A lot of it was old, so I threw it out. The explanation was plausible, but Chen still felt something was off. But since he was about to marry Zhang Yao, it was probably for the best that I moved out. Zhang Yao would cry if she found out she was fragile, unlike me, who was strong. After some thought, Chen said indifferently, if you're cleaning up, make sure you do it thoroughly. I nodded silently, offering no further explanation. A while later, Chen spoke again. I drank too much last night. Make me some hangover soup. I need to go out. Make it yourself if you want it. With that, I turned to leave, but before I could take a step, Chen grabbed my arm. Where are you going? Instead of answering, I fired back. If you won't make me hangover soup, what about the bidding documents I asked you to prepare last night? Are they done? No, I replied bluntly, shaking off his grip and walking out. Chen stood frozen, his face darkening. I was acting stranger and stranger. Did I really not fear he'd get angry and abandon me? I was going out to finalize my wedding dress. In a few days, I'd be married. I promised my fiance I'd wait for him at the civil affairs office in my wedding dress so we could get a marriage license together. At the high-end bridal boutique, I asked the manager for the dress I'd already ordered, but the manager hesitated, as if struggling with something. What's wrong? Is there a problem with my dress? I'm sorry, Miss Lin, your dress has already been reserved by someone else. I paid a deposit. How could someone else reserve it? Well, the other party offered a high deposit. I cut half. Who reserved it? Just as the manager was about to answer, the boutique door opened, and a sweet voice rang out. Is my wedding dress ready? I'd like to. I looked up. It was Zhang Yao, at the company, Zhang Yao, and I went close. But in terms of personal relationships, I knew her all too well. Zhang Yao's eyes widened in surprise when she saw me. Sis Sixie, what a coincidence. Are you here to order a wedding dress too? Yes. Sis Sixie, are you getting married? On the surface, at Gu Corporation, I was just Gu Chen's assistant. None of our close friends or colleagues knew about our relationship. Clearly, Gu Chen hadn't told Zhang Yao either. When's the wedding? Sis Sixie, the 7th, Zhang Yao said excitedly. What a coincidence, I'm getting married on the 7th too. At the same time, she asked curiously, Sis Sixie, which dress did you pick? I pointed to the heartback wedding dress on display in the shop window. That one. What a coincidence. Not only are we getting married on the same day, but we even chose the same dress. Sis Sixie, now I'm really curious who's your husband. I smiled faintly, guess. Zhang Yao paused, as if thinking of something, but quickly changed the subject. Since I'd ordered the dress first, even though Zhang Yao had offered a higher deposit, the manager had no right to give her my dress, so the manager refunded Zhang Yao's deposit, and I successfully got my dress. As she left, Zhang Yao fumed. What a trashy shop. Just wait, I'll have my husband shut this place down. After Zhang Yao left, I took my packaged wedding dress and headed home. Chen was waiting for me on the living room sofa. He didn't notice the dress in my hands. His brows knitted into a frown. Why are you back so late? I was held up by something. Chen didn't press for details. Instead, his temper flared. The client's beaning for the bidding documents. When are you going to finish them? His tone carried accusation and anger, as if I'd committed some grave mistake. Not wanting to argue, I said, I'm on vacation. So what? Can't you work during vacation? This bidding document is crucial for Gu Corporation's future. Don't you understand how important it is to me and the company? He slammed the table for emphasis. I stared at him, baffled. The bidding documents might be vital to Gu Corporation and him, but not to me. Besides, I was no longer a Gu Corporation employee. I simply watched his outburst in silence. Chen reined in his anger. Realizing he'd gone too far, softening his tone, he walked over and gripped my shoulders. Sixie, I know you've suffered all these years by my side. Once you finish this document, I'll announce to the entire company that you're being promoted to Vice President of Gu Corporation. From then on, you'll have the final say in everything, second only to me. You'll practically be the company's mistress. How does that sound? In the past, such words would have moved me to tears. But now, seeing through Chen's tactics, I was no longer the girl who cried over his empty promises. Back when I'd given up my 300,000 yuan job for him, he'd said the same thing. Yet all these years, aside from that hollow pledge, I've gained nothing. When I didn't react, Gu Chen assumed I wasn't pleased. Doesn't this make you happy? I forced a feint NM, not wanting him to notice my indifference. I added, I'm happy. Good, then help me with the bidding documents. Okay, satisfied. Gu Chen let go. He didn't notice the icy detachment in my eyes. Just then, his phone rang. From the other end came a woman's tearful voice. Gu Chen hung up and rushed out without explanation. I knew it was Zhong Yao. I wondered what she'd said to make him leave in such a hurry. I hadn't planned to follow. But while taking out the trash, I happened to see Gu Chen comforting Zhong Yao at a cafe across the street. Zhong Yao sobbed, today at the bridal shop. I ran into Lin Qi. She picked the same wedding dress as me, and her wedding's on the same day. Even if you don't tell me, I know you grew up with her. Your relationship is anything but ordinary. Just answer me one question. Are you marrying Lin Qi or me? Seeing Zhong Yao cry shattered Gu Chen's heart. He pulled her into his arms, whispering apologies even as she pummeled his chest. Lin Qi and I did grow up together, but she's the one who's obsessed with me to the point of delusion. The only one I want to marry is you. Yao Yao. I'm sorry I didn't explain sooner. Gu Chen sighed. She even has erotomania. She can't have me, so she fantasizes about being my fiance. But Yao Yao, the only one I love is you. His tender confession quickly dried Zhong Yao's tears. Hearing this, I felt even more strongly that Gu Chen wasn't worth my affection. It had taken me 12 years to see someone's true colors, but it wasn't too late. Back home, I found several hostile messages from Zhong Yao on my phone full of malice and warnings. Ah Chen told me everything. If I catch you clinging to him again, I'll expose you to the whole company and ruin your reputation. You shameless homewrecker, how aren't you afraid of karma? We're deeply in love and about to marry. He'd never stoop to someone like you. No matter how hard you try, it's useless. Got it. I read the messages expressionlessly and set my phone aside without replying. Instead, Gu Chen returned home tense, asking, Sixie, you didn't get any strange messages, did you? No. Gu Chen exhaled in relief, then reminded me, don't drag your feet on the bidding documents. But I was determined to disappoint him. Gu Chen pestered me daily about the documents, but I kept putting it off until the eve of my 30th birthday. That night, Gu Chen said, your vacation ends tomorrow. Right, the bidding documents are done. Yes, send them to the client first thing tomorrow. And no matter what happens, don't come looking for me. I have something to handle. He'd already anticipated my reaction and prepared counter-arguments. To his surprise, I agreed without question. Where are you going tomorrow? He asked, puzzled. I smiled without answering. In the past, because I loved Gu Chen, I'd followed him everywhere, but now that I didn't, his whereabouts were none of my concern. Don't you have anything to ask? Gu Chen studied me suspiciously. I nodded. Just one thing, Gu Chen. Tomorrow, I turn 30. Do you remember what I said that if you didn't marry me by 30, I'd give up on you? I remember, but wasn't that just a joke? Gu takes jokes seriously. Besides, the company's still growing. Marriage isn't on my mind. Hearing his indifferent tone, I knew it was truly over. The next morning, Gu Chen left the apartment in a sleek suit. Watching him go, I thought, asterisk, this is finally the end. Asterisk. I put on my wedding dress, left a wedding invitation behind, and walked out. Asterisk Gu Chen. From now on, you walk your path, and I'll walk mine. We'll have nothing to do with each other. I'll never disturb you again. Asterisk. After leaving the apartment, I hailed a taxi and sped toward the civil affairs office. My